The province of Quebec was a colony in North America, created by Great Britain after the 7 Years' War. Great Britain acquired French Canada by the Treaty of Paris, in which France negotiated to keep the small but very rich sugar island of Guadeloupe. Instead, by Britain's Royal Proclamation of 1763, Canada was renamed the Province of Quebec. The province extended from the coast of Labrador on the Atlantic Ocean, southwest through the St. Lawrence River Valley to the Great Lakes and beyond to the confluence of the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. Portions of its southwest were later ceded to the United States in a later Treaty of Paris at the conclusion of the American Revolution. History. In 1774, the British Parliament passed the Quebec Act that allowed Quebec to restore the use of French customary law in private matters alongside the British common law system, and allowing the Catholic Church to collect tithes. The Act also enlarged the boundaries of Quebec to include the Ohio Country and Illinois Country, from the Appalachian Mountains on the east, south to the Ohio River, west to the Mississippi River and north to the southern boundary of lands owned by the Hudson's Bay Company, or Rupert's Land. Through Quebec, the British Crown retained access to the Ohio and Illinois countries even after the Treaty of Paris, which was meant to have ceded this land to the United States. By well-established trade and military routes across the Great Lakes, the British continued to supply not only their own troops but a wide alliance of Native American nations through Detroit, Fort Niagara, Fort Michilimackinac, and so on, until these posts were turned over to the United States following the Jay Treaty. Quebec retained its seigneurial system after the conquest, owing to an influx of Loyalist refugees from the American Revolutionary War. The demographics of Quebec came to shift and now included a substantial English-speaking, Anglican or Protestant element from the former 13 colonies. These United Empire Loyalists settled mainly in the eastern townships, Montreal, and what was known then as the Pays d'Enau west of the Ottawa River. The Constitutional Act of 1791 divided the colony in two at the Ottawa River, so that the western part could be under the British legal system, with English speakers in the majority. The eastern part was named Lower Canada. Governors of the Province of Quebec 1763 to 1791. After the capitulation of Montreal in 1760, New France was placed under military government. Civil government was instituted in 1764. The following were the governors: James Murray 1760 to 1766. Guy Carleton, 1st Baron Dorchester 1766 to 1778. Sir Frederick Haldimand 1778 to 1786. Guy Carleton, 1st Baron Dorchester 1786 to 1796. There were also lieutenant governors, but these were merely the deputies of the governors, and should not be confused with the modern-day lieutenant governor of Quebec. Guy Carleton 1766 to 1768. Hector Theophilus de Cramahay 1771 to 1782. Henry Hamilton 1782 to 1785. Henry Hope 1785 to 1788. Allard Clark 1790. Councillors to the governor. The province of Quebec did not have an elected legislature and was ruled directly by the governor with advice from councillors. A council responsible to advise the governor on all affairs of state was created in 1764. In 1774, the Quebec Act created a council for the affairs of the province of Quebec to advise the governor on legislative affairs. The Legislative Council served as an advisory council to the governor until a legislative assembly was established after 1791. The individuals James Murray called into the council from 1764 to 1766. List of councillors under Carleton from 1766 to 1774. Geography. Around 1763 to 1764, the province was divided into two judicial districts. Montreal District, covering the western parts of Quebec along the St. Lawrence River including Montreal and much of Ontario. Quebec District, covering the eastern parts of Quebec along the St. Lawrence and Labrador. In 1790 the Trois-Rivières District was formed out of part of Quebec District. The Trois-Rivières and Quebec districts continued after 1791 when Lower Canada came into existence, while Montreal District west of the Ottawa River became Upper Canada and east of the Ottawa River was partitioned into many electoral districts. Bibliography. Burt, Alfred Leroy. The Old Province of Quebec. Toronto. Ryerson Press, Minneapolis. University of Minnesota Press, 1933. Reprinted Toronto. McClellan and Stewart, 1968. Laheiser, Robert and Vallerand, Noel. Le Québec sous le régime anglais. Les Canadiens français, la colonisation britannique et la formation du Canada continental. Outremont, Quebec. Lanctot, 1999. Neeby, Hilda. Quebec. The Revolutionary Age 1760 to 1791. Toronto. McClellan and Stewart, 1966.